Yes. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to this webinar presenting our new members who joined the EGEC, which I warmly welcome because by their presence in our activities, EGEC will become stronger and will bring ahead the voice of geothermal throughout Europe. And I ask all the members who are present at this meeting to join our new campaign, Heat Under Your Feet, in order to promote geothermal, district heating, power generation, sustainable development for heating and cooling. Well, this is all what I wanted to say. I give now the floor to Philippe Dumas, who will moderate this meeting, and I wish you a great meeting today. And I hope to meet you all in person at the following event in Brussels or elsewhere what EGEC will organize. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mitlas. Indeed, so good morning to all of you. Indeed, we have started by doing the pandemic session where we are all teleworking to allow our members to still connect and make networking. But we say it was so good done in the past. It was well attended and everybody enjoyed this short pitch. So we will continue that anyway. Maybe in a hybrid mode, a day or another to also physical meeting. So as you know, as a moderator, I will not speak a lot. My pleasure is to give the floor to all of you as new members. So thank you for your support. And the first one in my list should be Monika from Alpheus in Croatia. Monika, the floor is yours.
Good morning, everyone. Let's see if you can see my screen just about now.
Yeah, it was coming, but yes, we confirm.
Can you see?
Yes, I confirm.
Great, perfect. Okay, so this is my 5 minutes that I will try to present our company. My name is Monika Suknajic. I'm from Zagreb, Croatia, and I'm representing Alpheus Public Affairs. We have recently joined the European Geothermal Energy Council. So a little bit about us. We are a public affairs consultancy established in 2009 in Zagreb, Croatia. So we mainly deal with public affairs, with advocacy, with stakeholder engagement, but we're also a member of Val Grupa, which is one of the largest public relations companies in Croatia. Therefore, we're able to offer a 360 approach to our clients, meaning that we also offer public relations services, event management, and digital. Range of activities that we're involved with includes stakeholder engagement and advocacy, government relations. In this over a decade of our existence, we've been able to establish a really good relationship with Croatian government representatives. We also deal with crisis management, political campaigns, research, legislative monitoring, not only in Croatia, but also in the EU sphere, and policy and economic analysis that we then send to our clients. Who are our clients? Public sector bodies, including the central government of Croatia, ministries, state agencies, and other state bodies, corporations, private investors, but also NGOs and charitable organizations. And we are a member of several trade associations in Croatia and obviously are abroad, with a mission to support our clients in maintaining efficient public affairs and advocacy for all challenges and opportunities. What is our interest in the energy sector? Well, we have been working with the government bodies that have been dealing with energy, but also with private investors in energy, with a focus on stakeholder engagement, establishing relationships with decision makers. And obviously in this time, energy independence is the key in the times of energy crisis in Europe, and because of the climate crisis, renewable sources are the only sustainable solution. We have recognized that, and our clients have recognized that. Which is why we're also interested in geothermal energy. As you can see on this map, Croatia is located in Central Europe, and the northern part of the country is located in Pannonian Basin, which has a 60% higher geothermal gradient than the European average, making Croatia one of the newest hotspots on the map of geothermal developments in Europe. We have also been working closely with the Croatian Hydrocarbon Agency, which produced maps of potentially interesting geothermal areas and wells according to source temperature and well permeability, which is available to future investors through a virtual data room. So you can access the data room by contacting the Croatian Hydrocarbon Energy and privately see what are the opportunities in Croatia. And we have decided, because of this potential that there is in geothermal in Croatia, to organize an international conference and expo in 2023, which will be called Invest Geothermal Croatia. And European Geothermal Energy Council has already very kindly been helping us in setting up the program. So it will be in Zagreb, Croatia, and it will have two parts. The conference will gather geothermal experts, industry representatives, government officials, representatives of EU institutions, but also potential investors to discuss relevant topics in geothermal. But the expo part will be dedicated to Croatia, meaning that representatives of national and local government from Croatia will present their geothermal projects to future investors with the purpose of promoting Croatian geothermal potential. And we are organizing it. It will most likely be in September 2023, but we will have more information very, 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 very soon. So please, if you're interested, do contact us for more information. As I'm sure that Christina has already mentioned, I think all presentations will be available to members. So these are our contacts. If you are interested, please do contact us via email, LinkedIn, or do give us a call. And this is all from me for now. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Monika. And indeed, if you look at our market report, Croatia was just new countries entering the market, but you see in the next edition, Croatia will become a hotspot. We have seen indeed fantastic development in Croatia, but also the regulatory framework is improving. So I can just recommend you to contact Monika if you want to know more about all what is happening in Croatia, because it's becoming a hot country. The first one in Europe also have launched auctioning with a geothermal portfolio. So really good news from Croatia. Thank you. And now we are moving from Croatia to Iceland, and it's my pleasure to give the floor to Sigurd. I think he's joining us from Arctic Green Energy.
Hello.
Hello.
Nice to meet you. So I'll share my screen. Let me know if this is working.
Yes, and in full screen mode, it's perfect.
Okay. So I represent Arctic Green Energy. I'm the CEO of that company since earlier this year. Arctic Green Energy is a developer, owner, and operator of geothermal projects. The company's focus over the past 10 years has been on our JV in China with Sinopec. This is a cooperation that started as a Sino-Icelandic joint venture in 2006. And the mission is to introduce geothermal district heating in the northern urban heating area of China, where coal is the predominant heat source, or about 85% of heating is produced by coal. We are today the largest and fastest growing geothermal district heating company. And we have in China over 80 million square meters of connected capacity. We have over 1,000 heat pumps in operation, and over 800 heat centrals. We drilled over 850 wells. So generally, these are sort of typical hydrothermal, geothermal projects in a low to medium temperature resource, where the temperature is usually approximately 80 degrees, and we drill approximately 2 kilometers. Then we have the direct use of heat connected to the buildings. And in addition to that, we also have some shallow geothermal projects and waste heat. Today we are saving, or this year we're saving about 4.2 million tons of CO2 which is quite significant. And we have approximately 35% market share in the geothermal district heating sector in China. But as you can imagine, this is a sector that has a huge growth potential. So we believe that we have just started. Our focus is mainly on heating and district heating in particular. As you know, a lot of attention in the energy transition has gone to electricity and some to transport, but the transition in heating has been much slower. Although approximately 50% of energy usage is generally in heating, i.e. heating, cooling, and heat for industrial processes. While the supply of renewable energy for heating is still limited, the demand for residential heating and cooling, for example, is growing very rapidly and is expected to grow by a factor of 12 by 2050. We like to transform cities from suffering cities to breathing cities by using geothermal resources. They are available in many countries, actually in most countries. In China actually has vast low enthalpy geothermal resources, which are ideal for direct use for heating. In the presentation before me, you heard about the Pannonian Basin, which of course is an excellent geothermal resource, but utilized to only very limited extent today. And there are lots of similar examples. Why geothermal? Well, geothermal is renewable. It's baseload. It's always on. It's one of the very few renewable energies that is baseload. It's very difficult to use the wind or the sun for heating cities during the winter, and there are no batteries big enough today to store energy for heating of big cities. We of course have the public health aspect. This is a clean energy, virtually no emission, no CO2 emission, and a lot of carbon savings potentials. Also, although the use of geothermal for district heating has been used, for example, where I am sitting in Iceland for over 100 years. Iceland is of course has a small population, and there has always been this notion that it would be difficult to do geothermal district heating on a massive scale and in an economically feasible manner. But in China, we have actually proven exactly that. So in our mind, there is nothing to stop us from using geothermal elsewhere for heating. Our company has enjoyed success. We've been successful in building our companies in terms of revenues and profitability, but we've also participated in lots of social responsible incentives. And in particular, we established the Sino-Icelandic Geothermal Technology R&D Center in 2016. A year later, we co-founded the Sino-Icelandic Geothermal University in Beijing, which is partly based on the geothermal training program under the auspices of UNESCO, which has been here in Iceland since '78, I think it is. So for quite a long time, we've actually produced a lot of geothermal expertise. In 2021, we got a new investor on board, GIC, which has allowed us not only to focus on China, but we are now working on projects outside of China. In Europe, in particular, we have been preparing a project in Budapest with the city district heating operator to use geothermal resources for a district heating network in Budapest. So we are proud of what we have accomplished, but there is still a lot more to come. In China only, where we started from scratch, where there was no operations when we started. We now have approximately 65 or at least 80 million square meters at the end of this year, and we have saved 4.2 million tons in 2022. We have large concessions in China, which provide a pathway for a secured growth of our company there, up to 320 million square meters in the coming years. And when we have exhausted those concessions, we will have an annual carbon savings of 20 million tons, which is similar to a small country, for example. So that's where we are today. Here are my contacts, and be happy to know other members at a later stage. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Sigurd. Indeed, really interesting to see all the development. So the experience from Iceland to develop quality in China, and also developing quality in Europe and especially in Budapest. So indeed, it's good to see. We need more project developers as your company to develop more projects. And if we can have the same economy scale that you're doing in China, in Europe, we will see a big growth. So thank you, Sigurd. Now, you see from Croatia, move to Iceland, and now we are going to Bulgaria. And it's my pleasure to give the floor to Edward Blunt from the newly created Bulgarian Geothermal Association. Edward, the floor is yours.
Good morning. Let me just share my screen. Okay, hopefully everybody can see that now.
Confirm.
Okay, so good morning or good afternoon now. My name is Edward Blunt. I'm Vice Chairman of the Bulgarian Association Geothermal Energy. And I'm here today to just give you an introduction to the association and a quick overview of the geothermal potential of Bulgaria. So a shorter presentation than those so far today. I'll try and stick to about 4 slides. I'll just give you a quick overview of the Bulgarian Association Geothermal Energy, which we refer to as BADGE. And then a couple of slides to explain first the geothermal energy potential in Bulgaria, and then the possibilities for opportunities for growth in the sector. And then finally, our current priorities and targets for the coming year. So the Bulgarian Association of Geothermal Energy is a national non-governmental association, and it's bringing together scientists, businesses and service providers that work in all parts of the geothermal energy sector, both in Bulgaria and internationally. It was established in 2021, and it was the brainchild of the management board, who you can see here, myself included, and about 30 leading scientists and businesses in Bulgaria that were interested in getting more traction of promoting and pushing and accelerating the development of geothermal energy in the country and raising the profile of geothermal energy abroad. And currently we're the only association in Bulgaria that really focuses on the whole of the geothermal energy value chain, from fundamental geoscience through to the environmental, legal, financial considerations you need for viable projects, through to our members, including service providers and equipment providers that can work together on geothermal projects once they get up and running, so procurement. The overall aim of BADGE is to unite the efforts of individual members who are working independently and then support them in their interest for research and development of modern geothermal energy solutions in Bulgaria to accelerate the growth of the country and in geothermal energy and its transition to a sustainable energy future. Our membership currently has sizable expertise in science, technology, commerce, and development of geothermal energy with knowledge of Bulgaria and internationally. And that's creating and what we're trying to create is a fertile place for new ideas, for innovation, for new policies and practical solutions for the application of greater use of geothermal energy in Bulgaria. In the last year, Badger's joined the Geothermal Energy Alliance, IRENA, and also EGEC. And we continue to grow and attract new members who are seeking to accelerate growth of geothermal in Bulgaria and more generally across Southeast Europe. If we now just take a couple of slides to look at sort of a general introduction to the geothermal energy potential of Bulgaria. Very simple slide. The territory of Bulgaria is a little over 110,000 square kilometers. And in terms of geothermal energy potential, about half or possibly more than half of that territory is prospective for one kind of geothermal resource or another. So overall, the country has a very large and distributed potential for geothermal energy. In very simple geological terms, you can divide the territory of Bulgaria into two geological provinces that have both power generation and direct heat use applications and potential. If you look at the map, the first is a northern geological province, everything north of the yellow dashed line, which is a major alpine mountain chain in Bulgaria. And in the northern geological province, that you basically have a hot sedimentary basins and hot sedimentary aquifers. The geothermal gradient elevated, it's normally a little over 30 degrees and potentially in some areas over 40 degrees. The reason for the uncertainty is, although that there is a lot of historic drilling in northern Bulgaria for oil and gas exploration, most of the temperature measurements in wells have just been directly read off the measurements while drilling and not corrected. And the measurements that are given in publications are normally over 30 degrees, but with corrections that we've done on some wells, they're approaching 40 degrees centigrade in some areas, but further work is needed. The reservoirs in the sedimentary aquifers, the hot sedimentary aquifers, are Mesozoic reservoirs of Jurassic, Triassic, Upper Paleozoic, Permian age. High flow rates in those reservoirs are proven at depths down to over 5,000 meters. And when I say high flow rates, I mean flow rates from a 2-meter test interval of between 5,000 and 10,000 barrels a day, and gross reservoir thicknesses of potentially many hundreds of meters of uninterrupted reservoir. There's an extensive accessible subsurface database in northern Bulgaria, both of seismic and wells, that comes from historical oil and gas exploration. So that's the northern geological province. The southern half of Bulgaria, below the yellow line, the southern geological province, is a very different terrain. It's in the alpine orogenic belt. And essentially today, southern Bulgaria could be considered a basin and range province like central and western United States. And it's an active rift terrain with elevated geothermal gradients because of active faulting. The geothermal gradient in the southern terrains and in southern basins is between 35 degrees per kilometre and up to 100 degrees per kilometre, or possibly even more. There's not as much deep drilling and or seismic acquisition in the southern half of Bulgaria, so there is uncertainty about how hot some of these young rift basins are, but certainly many of the rift basins around their margins, you can intersect geothermal gradients and waters at 80 degrees centigrade or more, either outflowing at the surface around boundary faults or within 100 to 200 meters of the surface near to the margins of the basins. Within the basins, geothermal gradients tend to be somewhat lower. Historic measurements are suggesting a geothermal gradient of 40 to 50 degrees per kilometre, which is still quite high, in line with rifting, but not as high as seen by the direct springs and other evidence around the margins of the basin. The reservoirs in these basins, they're very young. They formed in the last 30 million years and are still forming to the present day. So you have younger tertiary reservoirs, and underneath those younger reservoirs, you also have extensive fractured Mesozoic reservoirs, the same as in the north of the country, and or basement of metamorphic or igneous rocks, granites being very common. The final point to say about the south is, although there's lots of surface evidence for high heat flows and high outflow temperatures, the orange dots on the map are a selection of wells that have outflow temperatures of over 75 degrees centigrade, and there are a few outflow wells that actually flow to the surface as geysers and have a surface temperature of 120 and more, come out as steam. But overall, there's much more limited subsurface data in the southern half of the country, and so it's less mature in terms of understanding the deep subsurface and its true potential for geothermal energy than in the north, which is much better constrained by historical oil and gas data. In terms of opportunities in Bulgaria today, given that geological setting, this is a fairly obvious slide, mostly in many parts. Obviously, there's potential for deep hydrothermal power generation in the north. Temperatures over 150 degrees centigrade can be targeted between 4 and 6 kilometers at the moment, possibly shallower, but not proven. And that's in line with many other places in Bulgaria, in Europe. What's nice about Bulgaria is, again, because of the historic exploration, you know that you've got high delivery reservoirs at those depths. So you've removed a lot of the geological risk that you have in many other places in Europe. In the south, again, 150 degrees centigrade on the conservative range, you would expect to find it around 4,000 meters. But it could be much less if these higher geothermal gradients, which are up to, in some wells, 100 degrees per kilometer in some of these young rift basins, are confirmed to be more regionally pervasive rather than localized, and work needs to be done there to confirm that. So that's for power generation. Of course, both of these regional areas therefore have potential for shallow hydrothermal direct heat use, using the waters for district heating or other industrial or agricultural uses. And historically, Bulgaria has in antiquity spas, and present day has a very well established hotel network advertising hot springs and spas and balneology. And this in the south, this is much better developed, where there are many surface hot springs. And both in the north and south, it's not uncommon to intersect waters 50 to 60 degrees plus at less than 1 kilometer, and in the southern basins approaching 100 degrees at 1 kilometer's depth in reservoirs with high flow rates. And again, in the south, because of these potentially much higher geothermal gradients, there may be potential for even hotter resources than that at shallow depths. The main opportunity for these shallow resources at the moment is direct heat use in large-scale district heating projects. And Bulgaria is a great place to spend more effort developing district heating, because it has a well-established district heating network already servicing all major cities and many of the smaller towns, which can either be plugged into, or in addition to that local established district heating network, new hubs can be set up for new districts where the cities are expanding. And currently, just if you look at the major cities and the larger cities in the country, you can see the purple and blue dots. You've got a customer base of over 2.5 million people, either already using district heating or in a location where district heating can be applied. There's a huge potential for development of district heating using these shallow direct heat sources. The third use of geothermal in Bulgaria, which is very much worth mentioning, is just the use of ground source heat pumps for heating and cooling. In smaller towns and in areas away from district heating networks, there is a need for new energy solutions for buildings. There's a large building stock, there are large communities set up here, and there are countrywide opportunities for much greater use of ground source heat pumps in all their technologies and all scales in Bulgaria, both for new build areas and also for the refurbishment of existing buildings, especially government buildings. An early investment that you've seen in Bulgaria Bulgaria is often associated with municipality investments and is often projects refurbishing schools, hospitals, and the like with ground source heat pumps to provide their heating and cooling. In terms of Badger's current priorities and targets, we have 3 current targets which will continue into the coming year. The first is we're working collectively with members and with governments to make changes to the legislation in the Republic of Bulgaria to completely free up the geothermal energy sector. We're making, at the moment, comprehensive recommendations to integrate geothermal energy fully into existing regulations across all of the exploration and through to energy and electricity production legislation, which will fully open the door in Bulgaria for licensing and long-term development. Our expected completion date for those recommendations is currently the end of Q1, at which point they should be ready for basically government acceptance and ratification into law. The second strand of activity that we're following is the creation of an up-to-date geological atlas and models for geothermal energy potential in the Republic of Bulgaria. You can see from the previous 2 slides, there's significant data and information available in Bulgaria, but there is no central resource of scientific data that those interested in investing in Bulgaria or exploring more and researching its potential can utilize. We want to draw together the different national and international bodies under one umbrella using Badge to help collate the valuable historic information and also do new analyses so that we can identify in short order the most attractive areas for initial geothermal resource development, both for power generation and for district heating direct heat use, which are the biggest potential uses. We hope that we, in dialogue and discussion with members and with new members and with institutions and with the Bulgarian government, that we can get a research cluster set up and begin work towards the middle of 2023. The third priority and target is, of course, the ongoing priority and target of us all. It's continuing to work with existing and new members, partner organizations such as the EGEC, and also the state institutions here in Bulgaria to raise awareness and accelerate the growth of Bulgaria's geothermal energy resources. To do that, we need to do events and create other opportunities to establish and maintain dialogue between all groups, our members, institutions, and all groups that have interest in developing geothermal energy in Bulgaria. And our objective as Badge is to act as the conduit for that dialogue between Bulgarian state and other institutions and business, and with the international geothermal community and vice versa, to help that exchange of ideas, to rapidly find and enact solutions, and to help and increase the use of geothermal energy here in Bulgaria going forward. And of course, that's an ongoing target for ourselves, and I'm sure for all of you.
Yes,
so
for sure.
Thank you for your time. Our contact details are below. You can find us through the Badge website, and also via LinkedIn. You'll find links to us all on the website there.
Thank you very much, Edward. Indeed, quite interesting to see that we know that geothermal is anywhere in Europe, but indeed the potential has to be further developed in countries like Bulgaria. So hope you will have a good networking with other members to support you for this development.
We hope so. We hope so, and we look forward to continuing discussions.
Exactly, and it's one of them could be, for example, CGG, and it's my pleasure to give the floor to Greg.
Thank you, Philippe.
And the floor is yours. Edward, you have to stop sharing, please.
Yes, I'm trying. I can't get my screen to come up.
It's okay.
Is that showing?
Yes, perfect. Floor is yours.
All right. Hi, everyone. My name is Greg Rhodes. I'm the geothermal technical specialist here at CGG. Today I'll just be giving you a quick overview of some of the services and solutions that we offer to the geothermal community. So CGG is a global geoscience service company, been around for over 90 years. And historically, mainly we've been most known for providing industry-leading seismic processing, characterization, and interpretation to the oil and gas industry. And then we're increasingly seeing that being deployed for geothermal, oftentimes repurposing existing data, but new fit-for-purpose acquisition as well when budgets allow. So we seek to combine data, technology, and subsurface expertise to support the full cycle of geothermal exploration, from global to basin and prospect scale through to site development, appraisal, and finally production monitoring. And we have offices, these are all of our office locations around the world. In terms of the geothermal industry, we've been supporting projects for about 20 years. And the majority of those have been through our multiphysics group, which is well known for its electromagnetic techniques and skills, and they're based in Milan. But we've also developed 2 global resource assessments. And these are valuable for understanding relative resource base and comparing projects on a global scale. And we've performed a global lithium brine screening study, which resulted in a global fluid chemistry database, which is quite valuable for critical minerals understanding, but also geothermal resources. And both of those include a global geothermal power plant database. I'll show that in a second. And so we seek to provide independent guidance for, as I said, projects throughout the development cycle, and as well as evaluate the geothermal value chain. So well repurposing or cascade use for critical mineral extraction once the extraction technologies catch up to understanding of the resources. So we offer multi-client products as well as a GeoVerse database, which includes geologic structural data, as well as multiphysics and seismic, legacy seismic data, which are available. And then we package those into these 2 projects that are most beneficial to geothermal. Those include global power plant fluid rates, chemistries, temperatures, well information, and then we put them together in useful analytics-ready dashboards. I mentioned the multiphysics group. As I said, they're most well known for electromagnetic processing, interpretation, and inversion, but they can handle all sorts of multiphysics and perform 3D joint inversions as well as 4D time-lapse monitoring. They also offer a software package called GeoTools, which has a 3D viewer, and there's an image of that in the lower right corner here. I mentioned that seismic is increasingly being used for geothermal. So on the example here on the top left, you have a vintage 2D line and then a 3D volume that was reprocessed by CGG, and you see significant improvement in the base of the sedimentary package, but you also see some imaging down into the crystalline basement. And then we've also been performing machine learning enhanced characterization using limited well data and synthetic well data to help characterize the seismic. We can also apply some of the modern imaging techniques to reprocessing of 2D data, when the data permit, of course. And then we have we've had a satellite mapping group for a little over 20 years now, and they provide all sorts of useful products to the geothermal industry. So high resolution imagery, multi and hyperspectral data. And as the satellite missions have been improving in the last few years, it's expanding our capabilities to provide useful geothermal information remotely. And then we have a longstanding INSAR group, which is able to provide images like you see in the lower left, dealing with surface deformation. There aren't many geothermal fields in the world that don't have some sort of surface deformation. And so we can use INSAR to help understand reservoir dynamics and also sort of tectonic segmentation within geothermal fields. So yeah, I'll end there. This is just a screenshot of our global resource assessment, and it's just a bit anonymized here, but this is just sort of a quick example of some of the data that are included in that. And feel free to reach out to me at either of the 2 emails at the top there. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Like really clear and really interesting to see how CGG can provide to our industry. Just maybe to remind to all of you, feel free to chat, to question and answer, and Ingrid, the contact details of all the different new members will also be available for the EGEC member session to after a follow-up discussion. Now, it's my pleasure to give the floor to Ingrid Huldal from EXPRO to present.
Excellent.
The company. Go yours.
All right, let me just share my screen. All right, can you all see that?
I confirm.
Excellent. Okay, well, let me first start off by introducing myself. So I'm Ingrid Huldal, so a very Norwegian name, but Scottish accent. I'm Director for Portfolio Advancement for EXPRO. EXPRO is for those of you that don't know, we're a leading energy service company, mainly oil and gas, but I lead our energy transition efforts and our sustainable energy solutions business, which geothermal is a part of. I have over 25 years in oil and gas, so I been around for a while in oil and gas, but also a geothermal champion for a number of years. So let me just explain a little bit more about what our company does. So within EXPRO, we know that the geothermal potential is, it's endless, and it's going to play a key role in our future energy mix, which is why we've created an organization to look at geothermal as a standalone sustainable business within EXPRO. And we also see the need for oil and gas industry, and driving that support to grow geothermal, because of the technology that we have is transferable, and our expertise and skill sets also transferable, and can help bring a lot of benefit to geothermal projects globally. So we see technology as playing a key role, but also collaboration and partnerships as the main enabler to success and scaling of geothermal globally. And we've been providing support to geothermal since 1986, mainly with discrete services, which I'll come to our portfolio in the next slide, but mainly in well intervention logging services, so doing corrosion logging, for example. But overall, our vision is to become a strategic partner for our customers in geothermal, and we're looking to do that by focusing really on what we do best, which is, taking our technical expertise, safety performance and operational excellence, but also partnering with the best in the industry to deliver more of an integrated solution to our customers. So where we've got gaps in our portfolio, we'll seek partners that can help fill that gaps and bring more of an integrated solution to our customers within our geothermal client base. And this is our existing portfolio. So essentially, it is everything that we have within EXPRO, with the exception of subsea, our subsea product line for obvious reasons. And as I mentioned, we started off providing discrete services to geothermal, and it was mainly in the mechanical slickline and casing, case tool applications services that we've been providing for decades. And also through our merger with our Franks International last year, we also have tubular products and services, so we can provide casing product sales, and also the handling of that pipe on surface, so casing technologies and tubular running services. And most recently, we've been awarded a contract within Germany. It's deep hydrothermal project in Germany, where we provide not only the TRS services but also well flow management. So being able to determine the well testing and metering and also fluid analysis, which I'll come to in a minute too. And we've also recently provided tube and conveyed perforating for a customer in the Netherlands. So we're seeing a shift from standard geothermal completions and adoption of techniques that we use in oil and gas to improve productivity in some areas within the Netherlands too. So we're trying to, you know, the ones that are highlighted on yellow are just what we currently provide today, but really across all of our product lines, we have a, you know, transferable services and expertise within those to bring together a more solution integrated approach, as I mentioned before. And this is just a snapshot of a couple of tools that I think are quite relevant to geothermal. You know, can help improve geothermal drilling performance and pipe handling in harsh environments. So the HI tool is a harmonic isolation tool, and it prevents vibration during drilling. So it can enhance ROP, minimizing trips and hole, for example. And also our aero reamers are, you know, can improve borehole conditioning and improving the wellbore drift. So those are just a couple of examples from our drilling performance product line. And if I go to the next one, so as you know, in the geothermal industry, corrosion and scaling are quite big challenges that we face. And as we move to more, you know, CRA type material, or, you know, special casing, like GRE line pipe, for example, the tubular running services that we have within the Franks well construction business, it's the only one in the market where, you know, they have a true corrosion resistant alloy handling system. They have a patented technology called fluid grip, and it eliminates any bite marks. So as you can imagine, if you introduce any bite marks to your tubulars casing, you know, that's a hotbed for corrosion further down the line. So it's one area where we can bring value. We're market leaders in the oil and gas industry. Oh, I've gone backwards there. Market leaders in the oil and gas industry, so we're also looking to bring this to geothermal and also provide, you know, provide technology that supports future long-term well integrity. And also just wanted to touch on our well flow management. So we've been providing well flow management in oil and gas since the 70s, since EXPRO was first formed. You know, providing, you know, data analysis, collection of data through well test solutions that we provide. And we've also been, you know, we have bespoke well test solutions, and we've also provided this recently for our customer in Germany. And the next slide, sorry, I have to keep going to this one because presenter mode is on this side. This is the setup that we have for a well test in Germany. So it's designed for about 65,000 barrels per day, so high flow rates. Temperatures, it's about 185 to 190 degrees centigrade. And we've worked with our partner to create this bespoke solution to look at, you know, providing high rate, medium enthalpy well test package. So we've integrated best practices from our oil and gas industry, and also made sure that we comply with local regulations here as well. So at the heart of this is the muffler, which you see. So this is the separator in effect in the middle of the system there. And also we had to manufacture special 12-inch pipework and 8-inch pipework so we could handle that high flow rates. And we also combine this with our data gathering equipment, so the EDGE system. So that allows for real-time data to desk transmission. So when we do the well test, we can sit in our nice comfortable offices and be able to see what's going on. So yeah, so this solution is both, you know, compliant with local regulations and company policies, and can provide confidence to the community and regulators and other project stakeholders that we're able to you know, to provide environmentally friendly, cost-effective well evaluation for this geothermal project. And the next slide, just a spotlight on our well intervention. This is really the heart of what we've been providing to the geothermal industry since the 80s. So we've done over 1,000 jobs since 2016 and 2022. Variety of different temperatures. We've got tools that go all the way from low temperature all the way to 350 degrees centigrade. So I'm sure we could, you know, have a tool that fits the needs of most projects in geothermal. So I just wanted to leave you with that slide there. I am very open to welcoming new contacts and happy to talk geothermal and what we can help, you know, what we can do to help you with your projects. My email address is there, but you can also contact me on LinkedIn. And yeah, thanks for the opportunity to share with you what we do.
Thank you very much, Ingrid. Really interesting to see indeed all this experience you have within your company and how you further develop indeed product for geothermal. And as you could see from the presentation of the members today, we are covering a large range of different people, consultancy company, equipment manufacturer, service company, product developer, associations also to support the development. So thank you to all of you. And now we are looking for another kind of entity is geological survey. And it's my pleasure to give the floor to Tobias from the Geological Survey of North Rhine-Westphalia.
Thanks, Philippe. And hello, everybody. I am Tobias Fritschle, and I'm based at the Geological Survey of North Rhine-Westphalia in Germany. So you can always contact us under this email address, egec@gd.nrw.de. And this is actually the group of people that you will reach there. So it's myself and our director, Dr. Parke, and also the division leader of our mapping division, Dr. Salomon. And then there are a few other people involved in geothermics. During the next 5 minutes, I will present you 2 slides just showing a bit on our geological survey, what we are doing, and then I will come to the 3 major projects which we have dealing with geothermal energy at the moment. So the Geological Survey of North Rhine-Westphalia is located in the west of Germany. And over here we are directly situated next to the Netherlands and to Belgium. The survey was founded in 1950 as the soil investigation, a survey for soil investigation together with our neighboring state, Lower Saxony, to the north. And we became independent in 1957, and ever since then we are a higher state authority affiliated directly to the Ministry of Economics. Today we have more than 200 employees, and we are divided in 4 divisions with each 4 departments, so 16 departments altogether. And 2 of them are actually dealing mainly with the geological tasks and the geothermics. We are the central state institution of the most populated state in Germany. So North Rhine-Westphalia has about 18 million inhabitants. And the survey itself is involved in a number of disciplines, including bedrock geology, soil science, natural sciences, and geothermal energy. We collect data for risk prevention in case of geohazards, and we are operating the statewide earthquake alarm system. However, the core disciplines in the end are the mapping, meaning geological mapping and pedological mapping, but also hydrological investigations and also paleontological investigations are based elsewhere. Now I will show you 3 projects with regards to geothermal energy, and the first one that was looking into hydrothermal energy in North Rhine-Westphalia, and not only in North Rhine-Westphalia but also in Northwest Europe, the so-called DG rollout project, which was initiated in 2018. So we have a total budget of about 19 million euro, and we are 10 partners altogether. 10 major partners, I must say, because there are another 10 associated partners, also including EGEC, and we have partners from geological survey sites. So we have the Geological Survey of Belgium, we have D.O.O, and we have BRGM from France. And we have partners from industry, which are DMT, EBN, or RWE, and also research institutions, VITO from Belgium, and from Germany, Fraunhofer IEG, and the Technical University of Darmstadt. Also associate partners next to EGEC are Geological Survey of Britain or the Geological Survey of Ireland. The major aim of the DG rollout project was to explore the potential of dimension carbonates and their potential for hydrothermal energy extraction in Northwest Europe. And this is one thing that also counts for the other two projects I'm going to show you. So we are dealing mainly or generally with carbonate rocks and with hydrothermal energy. The DG rollout has several major tasks. One of them is the 3D modeling and the transnational mapping. So over here you see a map which is the top of the Dimension potential aquifer. So we compiled that for the Northwest Interreg area. We have North Rhine-Westphalia over here, then again Netherlands and Belgium, and France down here. And we also have several reports, for instance, on market evaluation, which you can find on our webpage. Another major task is the exploration, or not only the exploration, but also the exploration support. And we have several flow charts and other documents as well on our webpage. However, exploration comprises seismics. So for instance, these blue lines are seismic that we undertook within the DG rollout project, and the red lines are seismic lines that were reprocessed. The dots represent several drillings that we had over here in Germany. We had 4 100-meter drillings and 4 100 to 200-meter drillings, and there's another drilling of about 1.5 kilometers planned for the beginning of next year. And also these seismics will take place next year. These already took place during the last years. Then what you can see to the right over here is the geothermal energy plant in Balmat you might be familiar with. This is VITO has built this plant since 2010, and there we are testing for production optimization there. Then we are also doing other simulations of thermal heat storage effects, for instance, in boreholes. And another thing that we have invested more than 2.5 million in the pilot site, a new high temperature heat pump system that is based in the campus at the University of Bochum and is now being connected to district heating network. And this is also tested for cascading options. So we also have solar panels together with another EU project there. So this is DG rollout, and the next two projects are financed directly from the Ministry of Economics. First one of that was, or both of them were started 2 years ago. First one is called the Geothermal Characterization of North Rhine-Westphalia. And this mainly deals with 2 major areas in North Rhine-Westphalia, which have rather high heat potential, which is to the west over here, the lower Rhinelands, and then also the northern margin of the Rhenish Slate Mountains. And major aim is also to assess the hydrothermal potential of the aquifers over there. And these major aquifers are the Carboniferous Kohlenkalk group, the Dimension rocks, and the middle to upper Devonian Massenkalk bases, which is also sometimes up to 1,000, 1,500 meter thick carbonate rocks in the subsurface of most of North Rhine-Westphalia, mainly to the north. Then next to the modeling that we do for those for those horizons. We also collect a lot of data, and there's a lot of data in each and every survey. So there are also very old data which need to be digitized or vectorized. But also we do some data acquisition, mainly petrophysical measurements, but also some drilling. So we had a 300-meter deep drilling near Düsseldorf last year, and we had another 100-meter drilling this year. And this project is also involved in a seismic campaign, but I will come back to that in the next slide. So all these data are then used and for an own online portal which is developed, and this online portal is to help the public to see the suitability of the deep geothermal potential in Northern Australia. Also, again, more information can be found on the webpage. As I just mentioned, we are also involved in seismic campaigns, and this also started 2 years ago. We had our first 70-kilometer seismic survey was completed in autumn 21 in the central Münsterland area, so over here in the northern parts of North Rhine-Westphalia. And over here we identified 3 different carbonate horizons. We have some Cretaceous limestones over there. Then we have the Carboniferous limestones, and we have Devonian limestones beneath that. All seem to have quite some potential, which is worth being further explored. One survey that we just finished is another 70-kilometer survey in the western part of North Rhine-Westphalia, so in the central Rhineland area. And over here, we also aim to identify the thickness and the depth of the Kohlenkalk horizon, ideally the Massenkalk phases, which is underneath. And the interesting part about that is also that there are several major cities next to those seismic lines. So there is a lot of potential in the whole area which can be explored and which will be further explored. And more information again, of course, on the webpage. And with that, I think I have my 5 minutes. Again, you can find us, you can contact us on our internet address, on our email address. Our internet address is over here, and also EGEC, the internet addresses of the project. Thanks a lot.
Thank you very much, Tobias. Indeed, quite a lot of things happening in your area. So good to see the support of the Geological survey to help the development of geothermal energy. And now we are giving the floor to Alexis Estines from Mustang service in France.
Hello, everybody. I will try to start the video and share my screen. Are you seeing me here?
We can see you. We don't see your screen yet.
Yeah, it's coming. Here we go. Is it okay?
We see a PowerPoint format, yes.
Yes. Okay. So Mustang Services is a service company, and we are specialized in fishing intervention and directional drilling. I am myself the co-owner of the company. We joined EGEC earlier this year, sorry, and we are really glad to be now a member of this organization. We are truly, with my associate, we are truly believers that it is time now for geothermal energy, and that we are seeing a lot of projects coming from all over Europe. As engineers, we've been involved in geothermal projects since about 10 years. Mainly in the Paris basin, where the first projects were drilled maybe early in the 80s. So there is quite a long story of geothermal projects in France. And of course, I mean, we have focused our development on the French market first, and we are now looking to expand our activity elsewhere in Europe, where the demand is increasing, and we are seeing this increasing quite a lot. I will share the next slide and maybe try to have a better screen. Okay. Yeah, that's one full screen. So yeah, as I was saying, so we have, I mean, the company.
Alexis, so we have a small issue. We don't see the next slide. We are just seeing the first slide.
Okay. So on my laptop. Okay.
It's good now.
Okay, so I will just hide this like that, so it's a bit better. Yeah, so as I was saying, so we are involved. I mean, the company has been started in 2013 by the ex-owner and mainly focused in oil and gas. So that's we are based in Po, and Po is in France is the center for oil and gas industry since the 50s and the discovery of the gas reservoir lac. So we developed the company with oil and gas, and of course, as another members were seeing, there is a lot of the oil and gas expertise to be transferred to geothermal industry. So we are really focused in this, and we also work in gas storage and mineral extraction, which is also something that we see very promising. I will just detail what a little bit what we are able to do to help the energy transition and the geothermal sector. So as the company is really has developed the fishing services since the beginning. We have a huge inventory of fishing tools, so for any intervention, and we actually operate a lot in the geothermal sector for fishing intervention, so maintenance of old geothermal wells. So we have a lot of capacities for recovery, cutting and milling casing, clean out well bores, plug and abandonments. This is something that has to be done sometimes, and general interventions. We have the capacity of building, manufacturing tools. Really, with very special for very special interventions. So we have all this capacity with our workshop in France. A small example is this little cleaning brush tool that we made for a geothermal well to clean screens and that were in a special alloy that we didn't want to damage. So that's one part of our activity, and we also have interventions for, in general, demo tools. We're able to provide any demo tools and bits. That's something we are doing for some clients, just renting special tools, and in this case, not providing the people on site to supervise operations. And the other big part of our activity is what the company developed since 2019. We are really active in the offshore drilling in France and actually nowadays in Switzerland. So we are able to provide positive displacement models, rotary retrievals, survey equipment. We are able to, we have an engineering team to be able to make the torque and drag calculation, jar placement, hydraulics. We can, if the demand is there, to provide turbo drilling. That's something that is really interesting for geothermal because we are really deep and sometimes in really hard rocks. And we're also able to provide very small tools, slim hole, and our MWD equipment is capable of handling 200-degree temperature. So we have really high temp tools in this particular equipment. So as I was saying, another part of our business is what we call special interventions. We help our clients to operate, to realize sidetracks by manufacturing our own whipstocks. But we can also provide packers, bridge plugs, line hangers, casing jacks, and we have a small a small catalog of mud tanks also. And we have also operated in France for clients to replace some wellheads, so we can have cold cutters when we need to operate in apex environments. Our main strengths, so we are a team of people from the oil and gas industry, so we have a real knowledge of the equipment of the drilling sector, and all these skills are highly transferable to the geothermal industry. We are able to manufacture some special tools on demand. Everything is done in our workshop in France, in Pau. So we've got a team of welders and qualified people to redress and repair all our tools in our workshop. And we, as a small company, we want to offer high reactivity to our customers. We are really, I mean, our main, what we want to put in front is really our ability to react quickly, especially when it's about fishing interventions. We are trying to be really as quick as possible to help our clients to resolve all the problems. So it's a short presentation I prepared. So I thank you for your attention, and of course, if you have any project, any drilling project, fishing project, I would be pleased. I would like to tell you to contact me on this email address, and yeah, of course, I am available by chat today if any of you have questions. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Alexis. You are mentioning a video, so feel free to talk to us. Okay?
Yeah, so thank you.
Welcome. And now we are moving back to Croatia again, and it's my pleasure to give a floor to Dominic Razic from Terra Energy Generation Company.
Hi. Just let me start the video. Now you can see me.
Yes.
Just let me open presentation. Okay, hello to everyone. My name is Dominic. I'm working in Terra Energy Generation Company in Croatia. And I'm a mechanical engineer working as a junior engineer. So let me introduce our company to all of you. Terra Energy Generation Company is a part of Soyak, exactly part of Soyak Energy. Soyak is established in 1961 and is one of the leading business groups in Turkey. It has more than 1,200 employees, and Soyak is active in 3 sectors. First is real estate, and in this sector we are one of the Turkey leading real estate developers with high brand recognitions with more than 50,000 units since 1960s. Second one is iron casting, and we are the second largest foundry in Turkey with over more than 80,000 tons per year. And the last one sector is energy. That is for this moment the most important for this meeting. Soyak Energy Group. Soyak joined the energy sector in 2003 under the law. We paved the way for the private sector to generate electricity in Turkey. The Soyak Energy Group we had a lot of projects on renewable energy, and up now we developed 10 projects with total installed capacity of more than 500 megawatts. We can mention 154 megawatts, and the most important for this meeting is Soyak contribution to geothermal energy.
in this field of geothermal energy, we have developed 2 power plants in Turkey, MIS-1 in 2018 and in 2019 MIS-3 geothermal power plant with total installed capacity of more than 60 megawatts. In this slide, you can see MIS-1 and MIS-3, and the total energy generation is 435 million kilowatt hours per year. Soyak in Croatia. As Monika already said in the first presentation, Croatia has a huge potential in geothermal energy, and that is what Soyak recognized and decided to invest in Croatia. We have won tender for a Legrad 1 geothermal exploration license in December in 2020. That was published by Croatian Hydrocarbon Agency. And you can see this is in the north part of Croatia, in municipality of Legrad, and the total license area is something more than 20 square kilometers. And on this slide, you can see our progress. We received this exploration license in 2020, and still we didn't have a chance to drill the first well. But luckily, and now we are in this middle step of construction of well location. We obtained all permits, and Croatian bureaucracy is very slow, so we have some problems. But at this moment, for one well, we have all required permits, and we are now in the phase of construction of well location. And in the beginning of next year, 2023, we will start with mobilization of drilling rig, and we will drill our first exploration well of geothermal, Legrad GT2, and the depth will be something around 4.5 kilometers. And we are, after that, we will start with, after drilling the first well, we will start with preparation of reserve studies, modeling, and our aim is to get exploitation license in March of 2024. And hopefully the results will be good for us, and we will make a power plant for generation of electricity. And this is all for me today. So I would like to thank you for your attention.
Thank you very much, Dominic. And indeed, thanks to you, we are on time. I think there were one question not answered yet. It was from Lithuania, from Felix Zazdinevičius. And I don't remember, maybe it was for Ingrid. It was at what temperature are you using high temperature heat pump system, but maybe if one of you want to answer. So what are the typical temperature using high temperature heat pump system you're developing?
I don't think that question was for me. Is that, we don't have heat pumps?
I look at 12 o'clock. I thought it should have been. But I don't know if one of you want to answer what temperature are using high temperature. I know that, for example, in Paris Basin, it's typically at 70, 80 degrees. But I don't know if you have some feedback for our Sigurdur also, I know for your project you're developing. If you use heat pumps also.
I can't answer that. I'm sorry.
No problem. No, it was just a question that's addressed to somebody in particular. I think, yeah, there's no more question. I think it's mainly for chatting and to liaise after that. So as EGEC, we will do our series of Meet the Members. Unfortunately, today, Shell was planned to be presented, but they will be at the next one. We have also, as you remember, Cornish Lithium in UK, Waterford, We have also MOL, the Hungarian company. So we have new members again to present. From 2023, we also hope to be able to meet quickly in some networking activities. For EGEC 2023 will mark the 25 years anniversary. It's our birthday. Next year, we plan quite a good party in Brussels in summer time. So it will be good to see you there. I will not be longer to conclude this Meet the Members. I thank you, all of you. We were about 60 people following all this presentation. They will be online. So feel free to liaise after this event, which is for you and networking opportunities. I thank you and hope to see you soon and have a great day. Goodbye.